Alright everybody, I got a little bit of a different video today. I know all of my raid attempts up till now have been at the max tier, challenge level 7, tier 9, and I know that not everybody has access to everything at R9. So I'm gonna try to do some more runs geared towards tier 5 and 6, the R7 and the R8 tier, just to show some things that are possible. For those people that have lower relics on their clones, on the Jedi, etc. Now, the disclaimer here is that I have R9 characters. That is going to change things for people that might have these characters at lower relics. The modding is going to be slightly different. You might have to reach higher numbers in order to get the same results. Okay, so I just want to say that up front. I can't de-relic my characters to go test that out, so I'm making do with what I got. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the modding here. What I will say is that at R9, the bonuses that you get for having an R9 character usually increase things like health and protection more than anything, right? Relic 8 is where you get big damage bonuses for the attackers usually. But for R9, it's usually health and protection with little upgrades here, right? So this isn't going to affect the overall strategy too much, because what we want here is damage and to a certain degree potency, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go through the mods here for Grand Moff Tarkin, Scorch, and Appo. And there's a little bit of some unorthodox things that you might not have thought of, which kind of make this possible. But you're going to be really stretched thin on your offense and your potency mods. I'll just say that up front, okay? So with regard to Tarkin, we need him fast enough to go before Fox. That's the big thing. I think it's around 315 to 317. I got it at 317 and I was finally able to go first. 317 might actually be the floor on this. So we're looking at 315 to 317 speed. Check and see. It might be 317 on your end, but double check. Then potency is going to lead to a lot of damage for him, and offense is going to lead to a lot of damage as well. You can play around with this, okay? Figure out what you can do to kind of get his damage dialed in. Because he does a lot of things with potency, there's certain thresholds at which offense becomes more valuable than potency, because you kind of have diminishing returns. Potency is going to be more valuable in this one, I think, because we're not going for the stacks like we are in the R9 version. So test things out, see if offense works for you, see if potency works better for you, and see what your mod depth has as well, because as you'll see when we go over here to Appo, we're also running potency sets, but we're also running an offense set. So Appo's our damage. It's less important that he stuns. He still wants to apply expose and defense down with his special here. It might not be from this, actually. I think it's probably from his uniques. But anyways, you'll see it in the battle. Looking at his stats, we got 322 speed. He's going to go first. You don't need him this fast. I just have him this fast. It definitely helps if he has faster, because then he goes more and then takes more turns, does more damage, so on and so forth. But the potency is not as big of a deal for this run, whereas in other runs, it's much more important. And then we have damage pretty high because we want him to be doing damage. So these thresholds aren't dialed in because you're kind of relying on debuffs like off balance, defense down, expose, those type of things. So you're going to have to play with your offense numbers and see if you can still get it done. Maybe crit chance so that he can crit more, because if he crits, then that's going to take care of a lot of it too. Okay, and then going into Scorch, we have him going at 303 speed. He gets a little bit of a speed bonus, so he will still be able to go before Fox does. He'll actually go before Tarkin does at 317 because of that speed bonus. Now what we're doing is, you'll notice we have all offense sets right here. We have him basically using Appo mods, 153% potency. That is because it's incredibly important for him to land, I think it's defense down and off balance on everybody. So this is with his middle ability using breaching charge, right? So inflicts 2 stacks damage over time, 2 turns, off balance for 2 turns. And then I think there's somewhere in his kit or in the faction bonuses that does defense down. So Just these three. It's a little bit of a weird one, being an R8 underman and an R7 underman. This will work at the R7 tier 2. I haven't tried it, but it's harder at the R8 tier. So if it works at that tier, it should be easier in the R7 tier. We'll go ahead and give it a try though, and I'll walk you through it. There's a couple of RNG points, okay? So getting into the run. Now we want to do something that we definitely don't do in other cases. We are not going to target KFTs with Appo stun. We're instead going to target Appo with Appo stun. That's because we need to stack on damage. We need to get that exposed, defense down. And mostly we're just clearing things. We're not looking for a stun. You can't really stun Appo. So that's kind of why we're doing this. Okay, so we're going to start off with the stun. There's no RNG here because it doesn't really matter. Now this is where the RNG comes in. If you don't hit off balance on everybody, or at least most people, Appo and Fox being the critical ones, you're gonna go ahead and restart the run, okay? So we'll go ahead and target Appo, throw it all down. We got off balance and defense down, off balance, expose, and defense down over here. Now we got this one that didn't get off balance. So this could create a problem, but I think it'll be okay. Now on this one, we're gonna switch over to Fox and we're gonna use the special. You kinda need this to crit, I think. Or we'll see what the damage is on Fox, but he needs to go down to like half health when we use the special here. Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, see how he goes down to half health? We're in the clear now. Now the second part of the RNG is you need this to kill a decent chunk of people with his W. We don't have time for stacks because we don't have the bonus with Order 66 that gives us more stacks at execute that we do with the max tier, right? So we just have to go all in. AOE and hope. Now with who we're going to target with the AOE is actually important because Scorch is going to assist. So we're actually going to target Appo because this should definitely kill Fox. We're going to go ahead and target Appo so that we get the assist and get a little bit more damage on Appo. Okay, AOE, it didn't knock out quite enough people, and it didn't knock out Fox. That's the important part. So unfortunately, this is going to be a restart. You could try to AoE, but it's not going to go well, especially for later rounds, and then he kills a Jedi, right? Okay, so unfortunate there. This one is a hard one. It's going to be largely determined on some crits and some big damage numbers, just outside the like margin of error because of the variability. So you just got to go ahead and try to get a run. So we're going to throw down the AoE, look for off balance. We missed it on Fox here. So we'll kind of see what happens when we switch over and do the special on Fox. We get basically nothing out of him. And then when you AoE, you definitely can't kill him. So we'll have to go ahead and restart. Okay, so 2 restarts in. It only took about, I'd say 5 while I was getting my bearings on things too, because I was still figuring out the strategy. We're going to go ahead and stun here and then AoE with Scorch. Look for off balance. We didn't get it on Appo. I'll just demonstrate really quick why this is not going to work because of that. We'll go ahead and use the special over here, get him down to half health, target Appo again so Scorch can assist, AoE, and we don't even get rid of Fox. So kind of a hard one there, and then everybody comes back, which kind of kills the run. Okay. And this is actually kind of interesting that Fox isn't dying. He should be dying with that level of damage on there, but we're not getting great. Even though at 155% potency, we're still not getting all the off balance that we want, which is difficult, right? Let's see if we can land it. And it's not even damaging. So this is because of a dodge. This isn't even because of the potency. This is because Fox is dodging, which CG, please take out the dodge mechanic out of this game. That would be really nice. See, almost nothing. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to stop, just kind of try to make things happen with that. We're just going to go ahead and restart quicker. I just wanted to demonstrate why you can't continue the run, why you just, it dies out really quickly. We'll go ahead and stun here, throw the AoE out. We got to land, but we didn't get the off balance. So go ahead and restart. This is the price you pay. Even at the R9 tier, there's a fair amount of RNG, not in the Tarkin Scorch, but you know, in other runs. So we're just trying to do the best we can, and hopefully this will be helpful even with that. Okay, we got off balance on both people. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go over here with the special from KFT. Knock him down. He didn't get to half health, unfortunately, though. So we're gonna go ahead and, I mean, we'll try to target him so we can get the assist and see if that's enough, but I don't think it will be. Yeah, and then, you know, obviously if you get a crit, it's just harder because special damage attackers, right? Or special damage characters use a support, but if you get the crit, then it's still possible. So we'll figure out if you want to go ahead and go with a crit, but that's why the offense could possibly be tweaked a little bit. You might not need a lot of offense if you get lucky in these crits, or if that's what you're relying on. We got the off balance. We'll go ahead and target with the special from KFT. He goes down. Let's see if we can make sure that Fox dies here with the assist from Scorch. And we need that. Okay, so that worked. Okay, now we got to see if we can go ahead and survive here. We'll go ahead and use the AOE with Appo and see if we have enough damage. We do not. We're going to get the counterattacks and then execute. We can hold on. Maybe boost it up just a little bit. We'll go ahead and get some turn meter. See if it's enough. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have an AOE to go ahead and knock everybody out, unfortunately. Maybe? No. Appo stunned because taking out the KFT. So, not as clean cut of a run, unfortunately. Back again. And AOE. We got the off balance over here. Maybe that'll be enough. Special. AOE. Targeting Scorch takes him out. We got rid of the DCTs. That's going to help a little bit. That they come back because Appo's still up. So, no counterattacks are possible here because they don't have retribution. So you're going to go ahead and target Appo and use the AOE. KFT will assist. And then we still have 8 stacks here, so we should be good to go ahead and hold off on using the Dire Fortitude. We'll go ahead and looking at where the turn meters are. I think it's best that we just go ahead and target a DCT here and try to take him out. Uh-oh, that's not good. Yeah, they do 2 on the bombs. I forgot about that. Okay, so unfortunately we lost one. Should have died at Fortitude earlier. Would have probably saved it. Okay, Appo, dispel everything. AOE with Scorch. We didn't get the off balance. We'll go ahead and restart that. It's almost worse RNG than the 3-man. Yep, see, still no off balance. And it's not going to be nearly enough. It's it reminds me of the Appo and DCT2, man. Just with how much damage and crits you're relying on. It's not as bad when you're trying not to do enough damage. That's kind of worse for sure. But we're still not getting that off balance, and we're hitting. That's the really bad part. So that's just debuffs not landing, unfortunately. Let's double check real quick to see if there's a chance. No, it's supposed to just inflict it. It's not supposed to be a chance. 155% potency, not enough. Okay, throw it out. Off balance, off balance. Okay, target with the special and then AOE. That just wasn't enough damage, period. That sucks. Go back to targeting Appo. Go ahead and use Scorch's AOE. Look for that off balance. We got it. Target with the special and then AOE. Calling Scorch to assist. Not enough. And I don't know what else, what you're using the clone troopers for, but maybe you don't have them at R8. Maybe you only took up Appo and Scorch. So it's a little bit of a limited situation in which this might actually be the best strategy, but depending on what points you need, it might be the one for you. So AoE, look for that off balance, completely miss Fox, back out. It's turning into quite a few attempts. Unfortunately, we got the off balance and the off balance. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and use the special. Got him down to half health. This should be good. AoE, take him out with Scorch. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and use Appo's basic to go ahead and hit this guy. We'll go ahead and fortify here just to use the turn, and then KFT will take him out. Okay, now we want to go ahead and get the turn meter from Tarkin. We're running out of turns here. Okay, we're gonna use this so that we can use Appo's AoE, hopefully take everybody out. Not quite. Okay, do we still have enough though? Let's go ahead and shoot for taking out this KFT. It'll stun Scorch. Take this Disguised Clone Trooper out and take that one. Okay, 2 stacks to execute, but we got there. Finally. Okay. Then everything goes in on here. You can't really manage anything, so it's just a matter of getting the basics. We can go ahead and use... If we do this, we're gonna go ahead and get everything up, and then we could AoE the next wave. So I think that's probably the better move. We'll get the assist right there. Then we have some turn meter over here. Appo will go ahead and rescue. Okay, now we can go ahead and... they're all gonna go. Let's go ahead and use the taunt. We'll target one of the Disguised Clone Troopers. Try to get this. We should get an assist here if we do the basic. There we go. We took out one. We do all of that, and then we're gonna go ahead and use Appo's stun here, and then Tarkin should take him out with the AoE. Okay, that's fine though. So now we're gonna do a little managing here. Okay, so we can stun here. Well, we'll stun Scorch if we take him out. So for right now, we'll get a stack on Vader. Okay, and then if we go ahead and if we were to attack here, we'll get the 4 stacks, forcing the next person to go ahead and rescue. Or no, they won't be forced because they can attack somebody else. So we'll go ahead and attack here, get the 4 stacks. So now when we take him out, that's going to be the point at which we are forced to rescue. So we want to go ahead and try to line up the turn meter for the best odds here. So we'll go ahead and try to get 3 people down, much similar to the R9 strategy. So we'll go ahead and basic here. Basic here. So we have low turn meter here. Basic here. And then we'll go ahead and kill him with KFT. They go up to turn meter. They go up turn meter. You see the turn meters are a lot higher. Appo will go ahead and rescue. Now we're moving into the final wave here. And we don't want to AoE. We'll get all the attacks back. So no real reason for that. Target the Disguised Clone Trooper with the basic. Then we can go ahead and use the intimidation tactics to get the buffs and the turn meter. We'll go ahead and target the Disguised Clone Trooper still with the basic. And then we don't quite have the damage that we need, but to avoid the attack backs, we'll just go ahead and target Lord Vader. 1. Now we can chain the AoEs and we should be good. Gonna get some stacks back. Oh, that's cutting it close actually. Thought that would have done more damage. We don't want to AoE here, that's for sure. Go ahead and taunt up. Go ahead and just use... we can probably take out 1. I thought we would have gotten assist. Calculated that wrong. Oh, it's close. Okay, now we AoE and it should be good. Okay, so it's a little bit of a wonky strategy. Be careful with those stacks of execute because they will creep up on you and you don't have a way to get more back. But it shows that it's at least possible. So I hope this is useful for somebody. You can definitely probably fine tune it and get a cleaner run. I just wanted to kind of get this out for somebody to be able to use it. Thank you to the person in the chat who shared it. This was courtesy of Pollock0123. He had a little bit of a different strategy, but I couldn't really get that strategy to go. For you guys, I'll just kind of reiterate what he said in the comments. He uses the Appo middle ability on Appo, which we do, but then he uses Nightfall basic on Appo, which usually will give Scorch defense penetration up, which doesn't entirely help a ton there. Scorch middle ability then goes on all enemies and they all have to get damaged, and you want off balance on Appo and Fox, similar to what we did. Then Tarkin middle ability and it has to kill Fox. So it's a little bit of a difference, but I was discovering that I had no chance of killing Fox really with the AoE if I didn't first use Nightfall special on Fox. But from there, that's basically where we're at. If you don't quite get that, then you're not going to be able to do it. He says if Tarkin's AoE reduces Fox and Appo's HP by 95%, then you can use Appo third ability to kill both Fox and Appo. I don't know how fast his Appo was, but I would never be able to get that AoE off before they go ahead and kill a Jedi. So, but you might have better luck. Your modding situation might be a little bit different. So give it a try, test it out, and see if it works for you. I'll post another video probably with the R7 tier, just because people aren't going to want to like watch something based on the thumbnail if it's the wrong tier. So you might get another video for the R7 tier coming up. Okay. If you got value out of this, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want more content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell so you know when it all goes live. Have a nice night. Bye.